So I did a thing today. No, not that thing. Actually met up with Volts, who's over there, and we are. He took the day off work so we could get together, and we're going to be doing some test rides today. And I'm finally gonna test ride an RG3. Let's get going and see what it feels like. Shut up, Ryan. Okay, here we go. So this is different. This is different. Rode around the parking lot a couple of times to get used to the clutch, and we're out on the road. So one of the things that I noticed immediately is this thing has the old style, like the 23 down to, what was it, 18 or 19 bars on it, and it has the exact same problem that those bars had on the Road and Street Glide. Your elbows are kind of in, and your wrist is canted too much, so very uncomfortable on, in that regard. I would definitely have to change those bars up. So that was the immediate thing I noticed when I got on. The other thing was kind of, I didn't expect, as we were going around the parking lot, it sure seemed like the front end felt a little unstable compared to my Road Glide. Here we are, we're getting up to speed. Holy shit, this thing's got some pickup. This is I think this is a 114. I'll have to check that out when I get off the bike. Of course, you don't lean. Man, they're taking off. You don't lean on a trike. So the centrifugal force is a little different in how it affects you. That takes a little getting used to. But other than that, it's kind of cool. There's just a lot of like muscle memory things that you have to unprogram. Chief among that is, do not put your feet down when you come to a stop. He will jack up your leg big time when you start to roll forward if your feet are down. I did that when we were coming out, stopped at a stop line, the first stop sign, the first time, and yeah, I didn't hit my leg or anything, but as soon as I realized what was going on, made a note to don't do that again. But yeah, I can see this. Oh, the other thing that you really have to unprogram yourself on is I generally like to ride in the number one lane position over here towards the stripe when I ride. That's my preferred position on a trike, because you're so much wider and your footprint's so much bigger, especially as you go through curves and stuff. You want to make sure that you're in the center of the lane. Look at Walter up there. Bolts is having fun. He's on a 2024 Road Glide. Yep, here we go. Yep, what are we doing here? I thought we were going to hop on a highway or something. But this is going to be a sharp turn. So no leaning. You have to pull the bars on the side that you're turning, and then push on the other side. It wasn't so bad. I'm not sure I want to do that going at speed, but I kind of like it. I mean, I definitely can see where, whoa, that was weird. So I hit a little bump back there on the right side rear wheel. Yep, see that little curve? That's definitely different. But I could see myself when I get to the point where I'm not confident on the Road Glide with my knees or handling that weight. As I get older, I could definitely see myself rather than saying, hey, I'm not going to ride anymore, I could definitely see myself getting one of these. But I would definitely have to ensure that, you know, at that point, I'm not expecting to have the same type of an experience that if you get on two wheels. I think that'd be very disappointing. It does feel a little weird as you kind of go through curves, and that front end pulls a little different than what you're used to on a bike, because you know, you're not leaning. And the physics, I mean, the physics, oh, here we go, the double little S curve. The physics is just so much different. Now, my three-wheel experience to date has been on a Can-Am. So, you know, I did a training course on a Can-Am. I went through 2 days of training to get my endorsement, because in Virginia, you have to have a three-wheel endorsement. You can't just get a motorcycle endorsement and ride a three-wheel. And when we did that 2-day course on the Can-Am, we went through all kinds of stuff, like emergency braking and avoiding obstacles and going over obstacles and stuff. It was actually a really fun course. It's one of the more fun training courses that I've done. But this is very different than the Can-Am, and I think that's kind of where I'm feeling that, what feels like a little wonkiness in the front end, because with the Can-Am you got two wheels up front, and then, you know, the power is coming from the single rear wheel in the back, that big thick rear wheel. And it's I don't know how to describe it. I just, you know, I guess the best way I can describe it is that it just feels more stable up front than this does. I'm getting a little shimmy in the front on this whenever I try to, like, do curves or whatever. I mean, I would definitely love to do a training course, if Harley has one, on the trike. Well, not the trike, not the big trike. I don't like that big thing, but I would definitely love to do that on this, or the freewheeler. This does have some pickup, man. This does have some power, though, and it doesn't sound bad. I mean, the stock exhaust does not sound bad at all. It doesn't sound like stock exhaust on one of the two-wheelers. I'm not sure how that's any different. So I don't know. There you go. Yeah, and it is kind of cool. I mean, you come up to a stoplight, and you can see that Volt's had to put his legs down, and I'm just kind of sitting here. I could definitely see how this would be really good for touring, for long trips. Yeah, I don't know how much that sound from the exhaust the mic's picking up, but yeah, there you go. First impressions on my first test ride in an RG3. I think, you know, I could have one of these in my future. Yeah, no, I mean, the bars would have to change out. I'd put a backrest on, and definitely have to put a rack on top of that trunk. Trunk's nice, but it's, you know, it's not big enough to, like, do any serious touring with. But if you put the passenger backrest on there, which I guess is kind of like a small Sissy Bar, then you could have a seat bag. And let's see, I'm leaning. I don't know, are you supposed to lean on this? It's not, leaning doesn't do anything but keep you on the bike, but yeah, to do any serious touring, you'd probably have to use a seat bag in addition to what you've got in that trunk. I'm not sure, you know, so you're not in the trunk, but also the whatever you put on the rack. So you'd have two bags, and then I guess the stuff I normally keep in my two saddle bags would easily fit in that trunk. And I'm just not sure how, if you needed to get it to any of that thing, any of that stuff, how that would work with the bag on top of the trunk lid. I don't know if you can add any side storage to these or not. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, so yeah, let's get back and we will do a wrap up, give you some final thoughts. RG3. So that was a couple of weeks ago when I did that RG3 test ride, and since then I've been riding all around all the northeastern states. Went up to Montreal, and I'm back on my way now to Pittsburgh from Canada. Just, I've been thinking a lot about test riding that RG3. I was super hyped about riding that thing, because ever since they've released it, it's just been in the back of my mind, like, man, that's a cool looking three-wheeler. So much cooler than the big tri-glide trike that they have. And I've just kind of had this thing in the back of my head, kind of rolling around, and even was thinking, wow, it'd be cool to have that and this bike if there was a way to do that. But I'm really super glad I did the test ride, because as I've thought about it, I realize I really don't like that ride that much. I know at some point, undoubtedly, I'm going to reach the point where I need to get off two wheels and go to three. I mean, I'm not fooling myself. I'm not getting any younger. I think I still have a long way to go before I get to that point. But what's up, bro? But yeah, it's gonna be a while. The thing that I can't shake, no pun intended, of that ride is how unstable that bike felt, particularly at slower speeds. And I know with the physics on a three-wheeler, it's going to be more stable, as you're going faster and obviously going straight, but just that weird little shake and shimmy on the front, I did not experience that with the Can-Am. And again, I rode Can-Am for 2 days through a course where we went through obstacles at slow speeds and probably 15-20 miles an hour. Not super fast, obviously, but we did an obstacle course. We ran over stuff. We did all kinds of curves, and that ride on that Can-Am was just so much more stable than the RG3. So I think probably when I get to the point where I'm seriously looking at three wheels, I'm gonna give a hard look to whatever's on the market at the time, but definitely probably give the Can-Am a hard look. And it's just physics, right? I mean, you got the two wheels up front and the one in the back, the big ass one in the back, versus the one skinny one on the RG3 up front, and two in the back. And it's I don't know. I know I can hear it now. The guys on the podcast give me all kinds of shit about even talking about a Can-Am, but Can-Am was fun, and definitely I think was again a lot more stable. Other than that, I love the way the bike looked. Seemed to have plenty of power, but I got a long way to go before I have to get there. So, and especially after this trip, I've been in every state in the northeastern part of the country, from Virginia all the way up, and beautiful roads, and I'm telling you, a lot of times, I've done a lot of these scenic byways, and just thinking, as I'm going through these switchbacks and stuff, wow, this is so fun. I don't know that I want to ever get to the point where I can't do that, because you damn sure can't do that on a trike. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great Memorial Day weekend. This is Sunday for me. On that weekend, I'm heading to Pittsburgh to see the grandkids for a few days, and then I'll be heading back home. There you go. That's my thoughts on the RG3. Nice bike. Not really stable from my perspective, but again, I'd have to do a lot of training. Definitely, I'll say one more thing before I close. When you're going to make that switch, there's a lot of stuff you got to forget. I mean, a lot of muscle memory you've got to unprogram that will not work out in a very positive way when it comes to riding a three-wheeler. You know, a lot of stuff you got to unprogram. But I don't know. Well, anyway, long time before that comes for me. If you guys got an RG3, let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Is that like instability, just me, or what? But I don't know. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Peace.